These Gen Z wrestlers just need to be stopped.
I just want people to know that I'm here and, God sent me. I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere. I'm a junior in high school. I'm 18 years old and I'm going to be around the senior circuit for a long, long time.
Let's just say that these kids are changing the game. So the US Open happened a couple weeks ago, and once again, we got high schoolers beating, brackets with multiple NCAA champions, and heck, even making Final X. And that, my friends, was in fact Jack's Forest. There's actually a super great channel that I actually found out recently. It's called Wrestle Talk 21. They make super great, super high quality vids, so I'm gonna give a little shout out here to them. We're gonna go into some content in that video, but specifically too, not only are they winning on the mat, but off the mat.
Confusing dance break.
She looking like a snake.
Give me head, top.
Nice moves.
Ever since Jordan Williams and Nasir Bailey just started dancing on, TikTok or, some reels you see there, I swear it's been like a chain reaction of we're just seeing so many, I don't know, what can I say, Gen Z activities. You're not going to see Jordan Burroughs or Kyle Snyder just start busting a dance move, post as a celly, right? You probably just don't see that. But it's almost just like the aura of the edits on TikTok as well. Everyone has been going crazy with the edits. Like, for instance, with D-Lock-It.
Give me head, top.
And then once again, also going back to Jack's Forest. Definitely not me asking for an edit. And I think the next steps here, go on to TikTok, find a dance trend, and just start hitting it. Because when that day comes, when you need to get that edit, when you win that big match, that big tournament. But I will say with the social media world, it's never been easier and I think more fun to be a wrestling fan, to root for guys and their personality, their character, and you want to ride with them. So Jack's Forest beat Seth Gross in the US Open Finals to make Final X. So what that means is now he faces Vito Arujau, whoever wins that would basically go represent the United States and wrestle at the World Championships. Now Seth has made Final X before. That's where he beat Dayton Fix to get on the world team, and after losing the finals, he actually made this post on Instagram, and I'm going to read it here because it actually is super, it resonates, I'd say, with a lot of people. I've wrestled with Olympic champs, world champs, the best of the best, but some of the toughest matches I've had have been against high schoolers. Since hitting the senior level, I've taken losses to multiple wrestlers still in high school. Carter Young back in 2021, then next year I made the world team. Then it was Aiden Valencia, Marcus Blaze, and now Jack's Forest. The truth is they've earned every bit of my respect. They're hungry.
Like a hungry hippo.
Dangerous, creative, they've earned everything they've gotten, and I appreciate them for it because they've pushed me to stay sharp, stay evolving. When you wrestle the same guy year after year, it's easy to get comfortable, but when these fearless young guys come in and shake things up, you either level up or get left behind. And I know who I am. I've never been afraid to adapt, never been afraid to grow, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So to the critics, keep talking. To the doubters, keep watching. I know where I'm going, and I'm not even close to done. I will say it takes, a lot of heart to write that online for so many people to see, because there's so many people just involved in the sport growing up over time. Heck, they're coming for your head. They're out there to take your legs out, and it can be demoralizing. I mean, if you're like the older guy getting beat by these younger guys still in high school, it's like, man, can I really, with what I'm doing, can I get to my goals when there's all this competition that, heck, they have way more time on their hands, they're only going to get better. But then there's that little thing in the back of your head that's like, what if I can do more? What if I can get way better? I'll tell you what though, you gotta respect the man in the arena, and we're gonna see where this plays out. Now, personalities have been crushing it throughout wrestling. I think the more personality you have, the more likable that you're gonna be. That way I think you can resonate with a lot more people, and people can, see that you're real. For instance, I'm going to take it back when Ono faced Spencer Lee, and then after the match, we had Ono hitting, I swear he hit like 5 or 6 emotes. There was like a thing on Instagram of him copying Kale. He was copying, Marcus Blaze. It wasn't necessarily copying as much, probably paying homage to, certain celebrations. But I'll tell you what, showmanship in wrestling is changing, and it's changing, I think, in the best way possible. Now, there's actually like bylaws, or I don't know if it's called bylaws. That's just a weird word, but potential rule changes in wrestling. I know there's even maybe the headgear that could become optional here in the near future, but then also spiking the headgear, throwing it before, after, or during the match wouldn't actually be able to penalize an athlete. So I think that even opens up the world to celebrations and making it more of a spectacle. Everybody knows we think wrestling is stuck in this old age, and that's not why we're not evolving and adapting, and that's why we can't catch up to these other sports, even though we're so left behind. And it doesn't help wrestling that we have the bad rep of, we wear a singlet and stuff like that. This just came to the top of my mind, but I was watching an interview with an athlete who says, yeah, my mom didn't want me to wrestle because you would have to wear a singlet, and she thought that was weird. Call me crazy, I think singlets need to change for the two-piece. But going back to the US Open, watching some of these highlights, like the reason that I think these guys are so much more popular than maybe, wrestlers in their certain position, a decade ago, is that kids all across the country and heck, even the world are like, wow, if he can do it, why can't I? And I think that can have a chain reaction of having so many kids go all in on themselves and not holding back from their potential. And when these guys go out there and scrap versus these older, more, I guess, more accomplished guys, I will say that, but like they make it feel like you can do it too. And sometimes I think that's what all kids, and not even just kids, I think all people need that hope of like, I could do that too.
They are entering senior tournaments not as underdogs, but as legitimate threats. The emergence of high school wrestlers at the senior level is not an isolated phenomenon. It is the result of a fundamental shift in the American wrestling system. In previous generations, most wrestlers developed through a traditional model: youth tournaments, high school competition, then significant technical and physical growth during their college years. The expectation was that true senior-level competitiveness would not begin until an athlete's early to mid-20s. Today, that model has been disrupted. The rise of year-round training academies, regional training centers, and elite club programs has created an environment where high school wrestlers have access to senior-level coaching, resources, and competition opportunities long before reaching college. Top high school wrestlers now train alongside NCAA champions, world team members, and Olympians on a regular basis.
So not only are the younger generation just getting so much better at such a higher rate than ever seen before, but now with the high school NIL basically being passed, as far as like in Wisconsin, apparently Wisconsin's not even close to the first. Heck, Wisconsin's close to the last. I think there's 40 other states that have been approved for high school NIL, which means like, okay, now they can sell, their shirt with their name on it. If they were to, make a YouTube channel, like myself, then heck, you can claim money through that way, which is like amazing. But here's kind of the kicker we see in college, how everyone's just like, oh, let me buy this athlete, like, hey, come wrestle for your final year of eligibility, at my school. But when it comes to high school, how does that work with recruiting that way? I don't think. See, you say you don't think there's like a market for these coaches and to get funds to pay kids to transfer in high school. I think that's where things get a little weird. Like, we're not necessarily in amateur sports anymore. Like, high school wrestling, college is basically professional as it is now with people getting paid. Not everyone's getting paid, but high school's to that point now where it's not amateur either anymore. Now, here's my biggest advice to you guys in high school who have this opportunity to maybe, take part in NIL, like if you would like to. Number one, do not promote a product or service that you actually don't think is beneficial. And going along with that, like, do you actually use the product? Do you actually enjoy the benefits? Because trust me, I've been in kind of this game for the past 7 years, and it can look good for a company to say, hey, we're gonna pay you this to promote this product, make this video. And I've declined like, hundreds of offers because it's just a crap product, a crap service. Like, I don't want to promote that, no matter what like that price tag was. And a lot of it can seem like so good at that time, but really think on it. Don't jump into any deal. Make sure to read over the contract, because now contracts are going to be rolling out, and things are going to get messy and iffy, because that's just how business is. And I know firsthand how much social media, like making content and stuff, can like really affect not only like your well-being of like who you are and what you want to accomplish, but going back into like your physical sports performance. For me, I do think it's helped me, but sure, at times maybe it hasn't. And now looking to the future of the sport of wrestling, all the financial different opportunities with, heck, you got claw wrestling, you got that new RAF, the Real Freestyle League. There's all these things kind of coming up, and I'm sure there's even more that I'm not saying, but these companies with actual money who are going to pay the athletes to compete, because when so many college wrestlers like end their career, like that's it, nothing else is after that, that senior year. We're definitely in the beginning stages of so many different ventures in the sport, but heck, I hope one of these organizations stay around, and there's better processes of how these athletes can actually profit so that they can continue to wrestle longer. That's kind of my final take, but now I actually have an offer for you guys. So I started my own wrestling shoe company while while competing in college, based off the idea of betting on yourself and paving your way. Now for this next wrestling season, we have so many amazing products here planned, and my goal is to get you guys hooked up in the wrestling shoes, to give you guys more opportunities with business in the sport of wrestling, and heck, just all growing together. So here's my offer on what I was thinking, and I'll be looking for your guys' help in the comments too. I'll be responding to all the comments, but I'm looking to build on a team of athletes who are gonna wear these shoes, who actually enjoy wearing them, supports the brand, and heck, wants to spread the mission. Now this is gonna be a longer process, so hopefully by next September we can start rolling in the people and kind of seeing exactly what that looks like. But I just kind of want to say this out there, basically to the universe, to let everyone know that heck, this is a real possibility. I think there's a lot of cool things that we can do together. Now lastly, we just had a wrestling banquet the other day, so I'm gonna share you guys some of the stuff we won together. So, and I say we, I don't say I, because this is it's more than just me. Without you guys supporting and watching, like, you guys mean the world to me. So just thank you so much. Number one, we got the character award. This is a super cool one. Now I almost don't feel like, I guess, maybe worthy for a lot of this stuff, but because every day, you're growing and maybe there's setbacks, but you keep putting your foot forward. Now I think when building your character, it's good to look up to other people who you want to have, those character traits and carry yourself with. And I think there's nothing better than Jesus. So I think by always thinking, like, what would Jesus do? I think, that's the best character trait there is. So we got the most likely to be a millionaire. I mean, they didn't have to lie for this one. This was kind of one of the new fun ones they did this year. So kind of cool. We got a Parkside Ladder winner. We got a Scholar All-American, Academic Team of Excellence, and the Athlete of the Week. I actually never was Athlete of the Week in all 5 years until I finally got it this year on November 18th of 2024. I think this was after I won Finley. And what's funny is that I was never the Athlete of the Week for my 4 previous years, but I gave people who beat me basically the Athlete of the Week. So I was always upset about that. Not really. And then lastly, this was kind of a cool one. So this was like from our Ranger Awards. This was basically the whole athletic department together. The Inspiration Award. I think this is super special too, because it's like, I feel like I don't feel worthy of this, because this is kind of dope. I think we did a lot of cool things in college, and I just hope that, I showed my school, my family, God, like I glorified him in that, and I showed class and being humble. I just hope I represented everyone, in the best light possible. And then also for the senior gift, we got this whole picture of the team with everyone that signed it. So, but I love this team. I'm definitely gonna miss them. I'm gonna be around though, of course, for this next year, just helping out to see, where I fit in that equation. But for so many of these seniors, like, that I won't see in probably a long time, it's like, that's life, and it sucks. Just don't be sad it's over. Be happy it happened. So, but that's going to end off this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you all next video.
Let me know if you on skate. Rolling with a gang. Totally, man, you shade. Told it with a gang.